clearly she wasn't very powerful, her machinations, which allowed the Hells to breach Heaven's gates for the first time in eternity, lands her on this list. Events of Diablo 4, the Wanderer was able to take out numerous powerful demons, including Astaroth, Duriel, Andariel, and of course Lilith, not to mention the traitor Herodrum, Elias. Now, the reason why the Wanderer isn't higher on this list is because when it comes to truly powerful demons like the Prime Evils, the Wanderer struggled with even an avatar of Mephisto, let alone the Prime Evil himself, and needed significant help from Mufasa's ghost, Akarat, in that final battle, Vessel of Hatred. Now, I'm sure the ranking will change as more Diablo 4 expansions come out, but based on what we've seen from the Wanderer so far, this is where they stand. Next, at number 13, we're going way back in that we're talking about Bartok, the Warlord of Blood. Bartok was a very powerful Vizdarai mage with an equally powerful brother named Horizon. Bartok was known for being able to summon and control incredibly powerful demons that he used against the other clans. Eventually, however, after constant blood rituals, he became quite mad and truly believed that demons were superior to Nephilim and the human race, and that they should bow down to them as their masters. In fact, he became so unhinged that even the demons that he summoned came to fear him. After noticing such a change in his brother, Horizon, the brother of Bartok, reported this to the leaders of the Vizdarai, which stripped Bartok of his command. Bartok, however, would not just sit there and take this on the chin. In fact, he rallied like-minded followers and began a massive civil war, only to be stopped by his own brother, Horizon. Which brings us to number 12 on this list, and that is Horizon, the Vizdarai mage and brother of Bartok. Horizon is famously known in Diablo 2 for creating the pocket dimension known as the Arcane Sanctuary. This is where Horizon hid so that Bartok could not find his location. Horizon hid his forces in the Arcane Sanctuary and unleashed them to ambush Bartok and his legion of demons in the Vizdarai Hell into Sanctuary, and thus begun the era called the Hunting of the Three. Tal Rasha first led the Herodrum against Mephisto in his Fortress of Bone. Following this failed assault, they continued to hunt Mephisto and eventually found him in a populated urban area in Kedistan. Mephisto was defeated and his essence was trapped in the Soulstone, although due to the many casualties involved, the Herodrum vowed not to confront a primeval in a populated area again, which led to the capture of Baal. In Diablo Immortal, we actually get to see Zoltan Kulle and Tal Rasha hunt down Baal, and in numerous portions of that fight, Tal Rasha holds off Baal, which makes him quite powerful. Unfortunately, Baal damaged his Soulstone before he was imprisoned in it, causing Tal Rasha to sacrifice himself as a vessel to imprison Baal for all eternity. Following the capture of Baal and Tal Rasha's sacrifice, this leads us to number 10 on the list, and that is Jared Kane. After Tal Rasha's sacrifice, the Harpura and Key Elf number Kulle was a master mage of the Ennead clan and Wolfstone. Now, many questions. Of course, due to Adria's desire for the Black Soulstone, Zoltan Kulle is put back together and resurrected in Diablo 3, only to be taken down by the Nephilim. Now, speaking of the ancients, Bolkathos valued martial prowess.
Let's head home at the cliffside air shaft. Head home at the forest air shaft. Raiders by the adorned wreckage.
prowess over anything else, so he founded the barbarian tribes, firstborn ancient. Kalmor was actually the first necromancer. Rothma was actually the first ever born Nephilim, the first child of Inarius and Lilith, and his name was originally Lenarian, taking on the mantle of Rothma after he chose to rebel against his parents. Observing and suffering through the deaths of fellow Nephilim, he managed to find a way to overcome it through necromancy, and this brought him into the attention of Sanctuary's hidden celestial guardian named Tragul, the Great Serpent. Tragul and Rothma were able to play a large hand in protecting Sanctuary against the prime evils in Inarius during the Sin War, in which Rothma helped Odyssean tune the World Stone to weaken Inarius, who had empowered himself with it. And he also mentored Mendelin, Odyssean's brother, who took on the name of Kalan, the first necromancer and priest of Rothma following the events of the Sin War. Although Rothma did live a very long life, unfortunately, we did find him deceased in Diablo 4 as he was run through by Inarius. Moving on to number 5, we have the Shard Seeker, which is the player character of Diablo Immortal. Following the events of Diablo 2 and the destruction of the World Stone shards were scattered all over Sanctuary, getting picked up by evildoers, causing a lot of chaos across the world. The Shard Seeker allied with Deckard Cain to travel the world and recover these before they get into the hands of hell. Among the opponents the Shard Seeker went up against include Leoric, the Butcher, Lethis, who was the apprentice of the Diablo 2 necromancer Zol, vanquishing Baal as a member of the Haradrim in a flashback resulting in Kulan Tal Rasha, and in a most recent patch, he vanquished Diablo as well, cementing him as one of the more powerful characters in Diablo lore. Moving on to number 4, we have Diablo 2's heroes. Now, these heroes were incredibly powerful compared to others on the list. First off, they were able to kill the corrupted Bloodraven, who was the rogue from Diablo 1. They were then able to defeat Andariel in the Rogue Monastery, and then in Luke Ghislaine, they were able to defeat the Summoner, who was the sorcerer from Diablo 1, who had found Horizon's arcane sanctuary and gained his power, and then they were also able to defeat the lesser evil Duriel, who was Andariel's brother. Then, in Act 3, they took out the resurrected Mephisto himself, who had quite the powerful vessel in the Khagan Sankakor, which was essentially the Pope of the Zakrum faith. Then, of course, in Act 4, they get to go into Pandemonium and Hell itself, taking out not only
want to anything to find the red, light, the red room? Hey, how are you? GG.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Angels Isawal, but also the master on this list, who is Leah, Adria's daughter. Now, Leah was born as a daughter of Adria and Aiden as a Dark Wanderer who was the vessel of Diablo with the Soul Stone in his head. As such, Leah, being a Nephilim, which remember is half angel and half demon, was born with an incredible affinity to her demonic powers. And although she didn't really know how to control it prior to being introduced to is Diablo 3's player character, the Nephilim. In the Diablo games, Nephilim character is by
Go to water treatment control.
By far the most powerful. Number one on this list, Odyssean. Odyssean is the main protagonist from the Sin War era, and him and his brother Mendelin were the first of a group of awakened Nephilim called the Edorim, whose powers were directly awoken through Lilith, who was able to overturn the influence of the World Stone that weakened them by Anarius. Now, Odyssean grew so powerful that his strength came from being able to will any thought of his into existence, including defeating Lilith's own brother Lucian by literally willing him out of existence. As he grew stronger, he led the Edorim army to topple not